welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of November 9th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me tonight, two gentlemen. I thought it was only going to be one, but then it turned out to be two.
It's a surprise Benjamin Daniel Lawless sighting. What's up, y'all?
Hey, this is Devon Kraft.
Devon, I got to ask you something point blank beginning of this podcast before we get any further. A listener asked me something about you, and so I have to then extend that and ask you, Devon, do you like being on this podcast?
Oh,
I do. I really do.
Okay. Follow-up question. Why does it sound like you don't?
yikes. Shots off the bow.
One for the, I guess the biggest reason is I think it's funny.
Okay.
Second reason is because I do think I think we don't need to take it that seriously, because I don't think a lot of people are listening, and I don't feel like we're trying to put the effort in to make this like an actual like thing. Like it's going to be like on the top 10 of like Apple sci-fi or Apple science podcasts. So
I am so glad that we're talking about this now, now that I'm 5 years into this stupid thing.
So, Devon, you assume you're assuming that we also do not care about this podcast.
Well, if you did, I think you'd try harder.
I'm super glad that we're talking about this now. This is great.
Oh boy, this is all
okay.
Go ahead.
Well, it's funny because I don't tell a lot of people that I'm on a podcast because I just don't think of it. To me, that's not like a thing. It's because it's kind of funny. It's like, oh, I'm on a podcast, and the two responses should be, yeah, you and everybody else. Like it's simple to have a podcast. Everyone has a blog. Everyone has a Facebook page. Like
we're middle-aged white cisgendered males. Like we have a podcast.
Yeah, or people like, oh, like, are you, they're I guess not so in the podcast world. So when you say you have one, it's like, oh, you had to do something, like you had to, like be greenlit or something. Like, are you famous? I'm like, no.
Dude, you could, instead of saying no, you could just look at them dead in the eye and go, yes, I'm very famous.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm well known in the Netherlands.
And then offer to sign something for them.
That's true. But I was actually on Halloween. I wore that same Star Trek uniform, and I was like one guy who was around. Like we talked a lot about sci-fi, and I eventually like it came up in conversation. I'm like, oh, I was like, I actually have a podcast about a lot of what we're talking about. And then as soon as I said that, I was like, I don't know this person. Given where we are in East Texas, it's very possible that they're religious and likely conservative. And like I was like, oh, but we might I was because like we talk about science and science fiction, and I'm like, well, sometimes politics comes up, and I didn't say I'm like usually by me. I'm usually the one who forces it into the conversation. But but I was just like, yeah, so you might not agree with everything. And he was like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. I know not everyone agrees with everybody else. Like it's not a big deal. I'm like, that is the proper response, and I'm glad that that's the response. But
there you go.
Just FYI, just
it's also like just podcasting in general. What's interesting is for what we do, this is purely entertainment. Right. We're not teaching anything. We bring a couple articles. We didn't do them. We're just showing them off. We're playing show and tell with science articles. Yeah. And then we talk about our opinions. Right.
It's a book club.
In the book club where, again, we read something somebody else did and then we make comments on it.
Like the entire thing is a book club. Like we all read a thing and we're bringing it to this group. Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In stark contrast, y'all, on Friday, I was talking to someone out in the world that was actually a real person and not a figment of my imagination. And they said, "Hey, I listened to your podcast." And the first thought through my head was, I had not brought that up into our conversation yet. But what actually came out of my mouth was, "I am so sorry."
Wow.
But no, evidently, Stephen, you had told this person about our podcast.
Oh.
and he went back to listen to some of our discussions on Dune. And yeah. And so
The movie or like the book a long time ago?
He did not he didn't say. I imagine that was probably brought up when Stephen was telling him about the fact that he's on a podcast.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, and they were talking about reading the book, and I was like, "Oh man, on my podcast," and I didn't say it like that. I was like, "Oh yeah, we read that as like a book club thing on the podcast." I was like, "I did not enjoy reading it. My co-host did, blah blah blah," and it turned into a little conversation, and they asked about the podcast, blah blah blah. So yeah, people are still finding us. People are still Devon. People care. Okay, I know that. You don't feel it in your cold, dead heart, but people do care.
Soul Crusher strikes again, man.
Good old Soul Crusher. All right. Well, it is another episode of the Science Faction Podcast where we talk about science and science fiction. Let's do a little chit chatty here. In the world of sci-fi, I have a new toy. And I'm so happy with it. I showed it off to Ben today. And he almost guessed correctly what it was. Do you remember what your guesses were?
Yeah. No, I thought it was like a food dehydrator. And,
it looked. So I showed it to you in my kitchen, and it did look like a kitchen device. It does
had
look
buttons
like
on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, it looked like it was straight out of late 70s, early 80s, like plasticky. Yeah, it looked like a food dehydrator.
Yeah,
you know, and then he pressed a couple of buttons, and it like the sides fell away, and inside was like lit up a bunch of different painted figurines that you had for your Shatterpoint game.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, I was hoping to get a little bit of beef jerky here, but like whatever.
I was hoping for beef jerky, but all I got was this dumb plastic.
What are these babies' toys?
This baby, I bet you have to play with your hands. These babies' toys. It was a Camtono. Some of our listeners are like going, yeah, but I'm guessing most of them are like, what? So Camtono, most people, if you're sci-fi minded and have watched The Mandalorian, you've seen one. It was the big white bucket shaped device that when it was opened had all the best car in it that Mando was paid with from the client, right? I went to see the baby, like that guy, right? Mm-hmm. That's a Camtono. Now that in itself, so it's just a carrying device. It's like a locking vault carrying device. But it came from a very deep cut from Empire Strikes Back. There's a character. I looked it up earlier. I'm not going to look it up right now. I'll remember it. Hood. Willwood Hood or something. Background character that runs by in Empire Strikes Back after Lando tells him to evacuate the city because the Empire's here. And he's holding this white object under his arm, and he just runs by, right? And this character became like one of those fan favorite Easter eggy like weirdos, where it's like, who's this guy? What's his story? And why is he carrying an ice cream maker? So you were so close by guessing that it was some kind of kitchen device, because it is an ice cream maker originally. It's been slightly redesigned for Mandalorian, and the one I have is modeled after that one. So yeah, it's just a carrying device. And I decided to use it. So they sold them at Disneyland at Galaxy's Edge when we just went the other week. They no longer carry them. They're discontinued. And that was going to be like my big buy for the trip, was to get this thing specifically so I could put my tiny painted minis in it to take them over to Greg's house to play tiny figure games with them, Shatterpoint.
Now, I'm pretty sure that I've never said this on the podcast, but I do want this to be known abundantly clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that Werner Herzog, as the client in The Mandalorian, is probably like S tier casting.
Yeah,
Like,
and he barely had to act.
Does not. Yeah, it was like so perfect. He stole every scene in a show where it's really difficult to steal scenes from Yoda baby. But yeah, Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog. I went to see the baby.
What a pull. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So anyway, I have a Camtono. It's a whole lot of fun. So they don't have it at Disneyland, but I looked online and their people are selling them for like the exact same price. So apparently they weren't that popular. No kidding. It's like a toy of a deep cut from a background character. Like only people like me are like, yes. Anyways, so I took it over to Greg's, popped it open. He was like, "Oh, that's awesome." I was like, "I know. Okay, let's go play." And we played Shatterpoint, and it was a good game. It was a long game, and why I keep saying Greg? Christina's husband ended up winning this game. I played as the Weequay, so Hondo Onaka, and his other Weequay pirates, and then I also put together Darth Maul, Aura Singh, the another background character that they expanded her in Clone Wars, and then where's the other one? The bodyguard droids. It doesn't matter. It was a decent group. It was the first time I'd played those teams. Had fun with them, but could not pull the win. Anyways, that was part of my week. I really want to get to what Devon wrote down here because I've been hearing buzz like crazy now, and so I want to know what the show's about. Devon, give me the goods.
If you can tell us without spoiling everything, which I imagine this is the type of show where.
Okay, so the show that I'm going to talk about is Pluribus.
Mm-hmm.
Which I heard for like the first time, like just mid last week, I think. And then as soon as I saw it once, I saw like headlines come up about how great it was. And we actually were looking for a show to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's give that a shot.
Did you know anything about the creators?
I did because of the headlines. It was like from the creators of Breaking Bad. It's this show. So I was like, well, it's probably going to be pretty good quality because they have a good track record.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in what little, I kind of didn't want to know much about it because I heard just from what I could glean from it, like it's a sci-fi show. I like that idea. It's well done, and like I didn't want to know too much about it, but
you wanted to go in blind. Okay, that's awesome. It's hard to do nowadays to go into a show from popular creators completely blind.
Yeah, and well, I guess I should ask you guys because I've seen the first 2 episodes, which are the only ones that are out, so I know what it's about. I was wondering, what do you guys think it's about, or what do you know about it?
So what I understand about it is it's a world in which peace has been achieved, and everyone is happy in this world except for one person. And the world has some kind of like everybody in the world has some kind of crazy hive mind. And now their one goal is to try to bring happiness to this one person who is potentially incapable of having happiness.
Wow. So I saw a trailer and I was like, this is weird. And I didn't think any more of it from that point forward.
I didn't have.
Was it closer to Steven's? This is weird.
So the piece I didn't have, I kind of knew, what you said, Ben. But the piece I didn't know going into it was the Hive-Mind part, and that's a big part of it. Like that's.
Is it a show about a Hive-Mind?
Basically,
Rick's girlfriend.
Basically.
Wow,
they kind of deal with some of those issues.
Oh, so pluribus, like the plural of people.
All for one, pluribus unum.
Okay. All right, I get it.
But So that's like I didn't know that part of it. And so the first episode, like everything's unfolding and you're setting up the premise. And the second episode is now that we've set this up, we can finally like see what happens when with the characters and with the whole hive mind thing. I love how they do it because there's so many different aspects to that that could be explored. And I think they do a pretty good job of taking it seriously and thinking of clever ways to handle it. Like, oh, if you're a hive mind, why would you do this? You wouldn't do this. You would just, I don't want to give it away, but just the way that would work in actuality.
So they've put thought behind how this would actually work, and not just have it be jokes in the background. It makes some sense.
Yeah, and then and then there's like certainly there's different moral dilemmas on the side of the hive mind and on the side of the human and on all these different things that are super interesting. And then with our only other like extensive experience with this concept is the Borg, which they did well at times and not so well at other times. And a show like Star Trek and over different series, it gets convoluted and inconsistent. So, which is it's fun because Star Trek's kind of a different thing. But like when you add a queen and the queen is more like seems to be this maniacal, flawed personality, it's like, don't you have the knowledge of billions of organisms and aren't they all hyper intelligent? And why are you this petty person? But it's like that works for the episodes, First Contact and plenty of episodes of Voyager. But this is more like, okay, well, let's go back to the way the Borg were at the beginning. First of all, they weren't overly hostile to begin with. Like,
they were just like reacting, like ignoring people, pretty much, right?
Exactly.
And
the
studying.
crew was able to beam on board a Borg cube, no problem, and just look around. It was like an investigation mystery type of a classical Star Trek thing, as opposed to it just being like shows up and starts being this huge threat.
Okay.
So anyway, so it's fun getting back to that. A new, like, well, not new, but a more realistic approach to that, and that everything that comes with, and it's done really well, and it's one of those new, fun, interesting sci-fi shows. It basically feels like a episode of Black Mirror,
Okay.
Crazy concepts.
Is there a clear-cut reason for the hive mind happening, or is that part of the mystery?
No, the cause is pretty clear-cut.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'd like to go into it blind.
It might be a mystery, but it's not like everybody just wakes up one day and this is happening and it's like we got to figure out where this came from. There's a cause and effect, just very clearly how this happened.
Awesome. That's great. I didn't
how it works. It's a bit magic-y, once it gets set up. It's there's probably some issues that wouldn't make sense, but there is enough of an explanation, and it's hard. Anyway,
can I guess? Can I guess that the hive-mindedness isn't like the main drive of the show? It's like how do I say this? Some shows would take the hive mind thing and keep it a mystery the entire season as to why, and then with a big reveal at the end. And like the characters constantly asking the whole season, how come this is happening? But it seems like, and my guess is, they know why it's happening, and it's not about that. It's happened. Move on. Let's focus on these characters. That's my guess.
The how is not important. Like it takes time to set up in the first episode, but that is not the mystery. We know where this happened, how it spread, how it all happened.
Cool. That's awesome.
Have you guys watched the Big Door Prize, which was a TV series?
You've mentioned this before though, because that's a very specific title.
It is a very specific title. It's another Apple TV Plus TV show, and it kind of like, if you're talking about mysteries about what has happened and that sort of thing, with a strange little here, I'll pop a link to the IMDb in here too. But basically just there's a small town, and one day there's a magical machine appears in their grocery store, which essentially can tell like they could tell them their future, their destinies.
Oh, that's
and
right. Okay.
in many cases, their destinies like become self-fulfilling prophecies in interesting ways, you know. But yeah, like it's a quirky little show. It's got Chris O'Dowd in it, and he's so incredible.
Oh, I like him. Yeah.
Like who doesn't?
Oh, that reminds me. I was scrolling around YouTube the other day, and there are full episodes of the IT Crowd just on YouTube now.
Oh,
like I don't know, like it's like it's all of them. They're just there, and I don't remember what the account was, but I think it's like it's some kind of like the BBC something. I think it's like official. Like they just put them on there. So
that's cool.
Yeah, if you want to do a IT Crowd rewatch, I recommend that.
I've been considering that lately, you know, and seeing when it would be appropriate to show my son. I think getting here pretty soon.
Have you been rewatching anything else recently?
Yeah, well, so my family was out of town for a roller derby bout up in Sacramento, and so I hung out, and I watched a really good film called Zen for Nothing, and then I also rewatched the Piece by Piece. Have you guys seen it yet? I know I talked about it quite.
Nope.
Yeah.
I talked about it on an episode, but it might have been like an episode where it was just Steven and I.
I
remember I talked about it in kind of detail.
The number of Lego things you send to me, Steven, makes me wonder really, like, if you actually like Lego. Like I don't know, because you haven't seen Piece by Piece, which is
I hate Lego.
a documentary about Pharrell Williams' life. Pharrell Williams, a musician and musical producer, who's written and produced so much iconic pop music of the last 35 years. It's absolutely incredible. Like,
does he
I had
create
no
Lego
idea.
sets?
He doesn't, but the film is set.
Well, then
it's
I don't
all
care
in
then.
Lego.
Well, then I don't care. If it's not him on screen building something, and that thing that he's building is also something that I care about, I don't want to watch it.
He's building things all the time. The movie is called Piece by Piece. Stephen,
you can call it whatever you want. If it's not actually pieces coming together, I'm not interested.
The pieces are coming together. The pieces are flying apart. There's all sorts of piecing going on.
You must have sounded like Seinfeld there for a second. Pieces coming together, pieces flying apart.
I don't know. I'm the one non-Lego-y guy on this podcast, so like I don't know, but it's a film entirely in Legos. That amazing. Is absolutely incredible, and it has Carl Sagan in it, and it's incredible. So
it's on my list. My list is just very, very big. Here's the thing about what people assume.
You got to re-examine your priorities. Is what I'd like to say.
I do that. Every day. I re-examine them every day. It's exhausting.
Not well enough to watch piece by piece.
So so I'm known in our group as like the Lego guy, right? Obviously, in my office right now, I'm surrounded by thousands of Lego pieces in various Star Wars shapes. However, that doesn't mean that I like everything that Lego touches. So like the Lego movie was good because that was like an original story, but like Lego Batman, I was like, it's just but that turned out to be a really good Batman story. So actually I did like that one, but like,
I'm like that. Actually,
come on.
No, that was good. But like, there's like Lego TV shows. I don't watch those. Like the fact that this movie was made in Lego, I think is incredibly interesting, but I want to watch this not for that, but for real's life. Because his life sounds extremely interesting, but like that would bring me to this project, not because they animated it with Lego bricks.
So so come for the Lego, or also about Pharrell Williams' life, but also stay because like it's just an incredibly moving and touching film. Like, I rewatched it and I loved every minute of it. So, like it was exactly the vibe I needed this weekend, which is kind of weird when your family like leaves, and you're like, okay, what am I going to do to fill up some time? Watch a family film. Like,
my family's
you
gone.
know.
This film will be my family.
Pharrell, will you be my family?
Oh, he'd be your family in a second.
Yeah,
Do we want to move on, or do you want to talk about that one last thing, Ben? That's up to you.
let's move on.
Excellent. So I'm just going to tag up this Lego chat with saying the things that I've been texting you guys in our little podcast group chat has been a bunch of stuff about the Lego Star Trek Enterprise D that has just been announced. It looks really, really good. And comes with
it does look sick as hell, for sure.
It's a cool looking set. But just like the Millennium Falcon, like that's a very big and detailed. This one, it is detailed, but because of the sleeker design, it looks like it's half the pieces. But it's still huge. I have no space for that thing if I was to buy one. But it's huge, epic. The saucer comes off. If you pre-order it, there's a pack-in for your pre-order of a little shuttle with Tasha Ro. Is that what her name is? Something Ro?
Lauren.
I don't know their names.
Lauren.
You guys
Actually,
know.
is Tasha in it? Is Tasha one of the characters? I'm not sure she is.
No, she's not. She's not. Picard, Riker, Geordi, Worf.
Now I'm wondering
Crusher,
if Ro. I'm wondering if Ensign Ro
Wesley.
has the same or more. Like, who has more episodes, Tasha Yar or Ensign Ro?
And Data.
Who do you think?
Include...
Yeah. Well, yes.
And Guinan. Guinan's in there too.
Sorry, I would include every episode that Tasha is in, but not every episode that Denise Crosby is in.
Okay.
Which one do you think has more episodes?
But considering Tasha was in the entire first season, and Ro was only in the later seasons and not every episode, but even episodes where they weren't focused on her, she would still be at the helm.
I mean, Tasha died middle of the first season. She did not survive.
All right, I'll go with Ensign Ro. I'll go with Ro.
And Ro comes back later in one of our newer series. One of the newer series, right?
Yeah, Picard. She was in Picard.
Yeah. So that's staying power.
But Tasha also comes back later as from an alternate universe in the fourth season.
Okay.
So
I like that they put Wesley in his rainbow sweater.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is great.
That's fantastic. And Spot's in there as well.
It turns out that Ensign Ro Laren appeared in more episodes than Tasha Yar, according to AI.
There you go. Beautiful. Let's move our conversation right along, you nerds. Let's talk about future or now.
Yeah.
Ben, I'm ready for some good news.
Sure thing. It turns out the AI is completely wrong, and Tasha Yar appeared in more episodes than Ensign Ro Laren. This DuckDuckGo is the worst. So, anyhow. But
okay.
Let's talk about why solar punk is already happening in Africa, or how Africa is building the future by skipping the past. Now, this is from a particular Substack called Climate Drift. So it I would not say that it's necessarily it seems to be well researched, but they don't really. The author Skander Garoom does not cite sources or anything about this, but
okay.
There's something really incredible happening in sub-Saharan Africa right now. And so he starts this article by saying, you know that feeling when you're waiting for the cable guy and they said between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and you waste your entire day and they never show up? Now imagine that, except the cable guy is electricity. The day is 50 years and you're one of 600 million people.
Jeez.
At some point, you stop waiting around and figure out yourself. Excuse me, one sec.
Ben just died, everyone.
Yeah, I had to cough. I didn't want to do it right into the microphone.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what's happening right now in sub-Saharan Africa is the most ambitious infrastructure project in human history. Except it's not being built by governments or utilities or World Bank consortiums. It's being built by startups selling solar panels to farmers on payment plans. And it's working. So what they're talking about here is that like they waited essentially traditional centralized electrical grids were just completely financially impractical for reaching the 600 million people without reliable power in sub-Saharan Africa. Essentially, even though there was a lot of talk about expanding the grid to cover these areas, the cost was so prohibitive. They would say that they were going to do it, but they were never going to do it, really. So basically, what is happening right now is the convergence of three different factors. So number one, dramatically cheaper solar hardware is happening right now, which is, it's kind of incredible because like it kind of goes through how much solar panel price per watt has been. In historically, in 1980, you would have paid $40 per watt, but in 2025, we're spending 20 cents per watt.
Oh,
That's a 99.5% decline in 45 years, which is Moore's law, except for sunshine.
Okay, all right, settle down.
And then also, if you look for solar home system prices, back in 2008, you could expect to pay $5,000 for a solar system, affordable only for wealthy urban Kenyans. In 2015, it went down to $800 for a system, which can get you to middle-class farmers. But in 2025, you can get a reliable solar home system for as little as $120. And that's where, like, that's huge. And then also battery costs have collapsed by 90%. Inverters got cheap. LED bulbs got efficient. Manufacturing in China got insanely good. Logistics in Africa actually, are getting really good too. And so,
you know what they call this? This is called trickle down electronics.
that is good.
That's
good.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. So then the second thing that happened here is in 2007, Safaricom, which is Kenya's telecommunications company, they launched a mobile money platform that let people transfer cash via SMS. Everybody thought it would fail. But by 2025, 70% of Kenyans use mobile money, not in addition to banks, instead of banks. Kenya processes more mobile money transactions per capita than any country on earth, because this solved a real problem. Kenyans were already sending money through informal networks. This new platform just made it cheaper and safer.
Cheap and safe. That's gonna work for you. Yeah.
So
wait, so they're covered with cheap solar panels and they use digital currency. This Africa sounds like a great place to go.
Right. Now, mind you, like this is much better than it has been ever. Is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they're talking about because everything is so inexpensive, then a pay-as-you-go financing model actually has made these systems affordable for low-income populations. So essentially, you might pay about $100 down, then $40 to $65 a month over 20 to 30 months, which basically each electrical solar system has a chip that calls home, and if there's no payment, it just gets remotely shut off. You keep paying, you keep power. After 30 months, you own the system, free power forever.
mean, if you can get that $100 down, like, what a deal.
Well, here's the deal: is that previously, the alternative that they've been doing has been using kerosene, and so, they would have had to purchase enough kerosene in order to keep their lamps lit, to keep charging their phones, do all this other stuff, and which, like, this is actually saving them money. Even that $100 down, in many cases are able to do it. And so, like, it's the pay-as-you-go model that made it accessible. Even though the hardware got cheap, that wasn't enough. And mobile money made pay-as-you-go economically viable for everybody.
I think it's incredible. Like, the the chain of events going from a so-called third world to a first world are now drastically different. Like earlier in this article, it was talking about the traditional thing to do is you build the power plant, you string lines all around, you hook up and make people pay to hook them up, and then you just keep that going. That's our electric grid, right? Well, they don't have to do any. They skip that step, and if they're going straight to solar power, and then with the digital payments for things, I mean that's amazing. It blows my mind that we like technologied so hard, so fast that some places couldn't keep up, and now they're able to reap the benefits of better technology. That's amazing.
100%.
Yeah.
And so like, what this also has an incredible amount of good news here is that, like, for example, if they're no longer relying on kerosene for electricity, then that means that they're not breathing in these, the terrible off-gassing that kerosene would give.
Mm-hmm.
It also means that now that power is available to them, means that they can have lights on at night, which means that students can study into the night. And so whether you're a child going through the educational system or an adult that is studying to get a better job, it is like, that's like the beginning there. So no respiratory disease from kerosene lamps. It's so good.
Good for them.
And on top of that, all the stuff that's going down is actually meaning that because of a lot of this stuff, they're so 95% of sub-Saharan Africa's cropland is rain dependent, and farmers have been spending $2 billion annually on diesel pumps. Well, now with solar powered irrigation pumps, with Internet of Things enabled remote monitoring, pay-as-you-go financing, free installation, 10-year warranty with drip irrigation included, this means that crop yields are increasing by 3 to 5%. Farmers are going, their revenue is spiking from $600 an acre to $14,000 an acre. Whoa. And after the payoff, there's zero marginal cost because they don't have to deal with diesel. They can have year-round irrigation instead of seasonal, and they save 17 hours a week from manual water hauling. So what does that do? It means that now 40,000 or more farmers have been served. There's a company that has 50% market share in this segment of the population, serving 6 different countries. And like, it's not a charity, it's making money. It's making a lot of money, and it's serving a great deal of impoverished people. So yeah, like, things are going great there, or rather better than they ever have before for these communities, and I'm so excited about that.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, I hope that works out.
Yeah. I mean, once our government collapses, maybe we can look to them for some ideas. It's
I mean, after Africa, in Asia, there's 1 billion people without electricity.
Well, that's only 1 out of every 10 people or something. Aren't there a ton of them?
I'm just saying that, like, the opportunity for these systems that have already proven to work on a small scale and also to scale up reliably.
Yeah, it could explode across that area.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So it's just like, it's that idea. I think that what's so exciting to me is that, I mean, for me, I do not think this is one of the few times where I see that capitalism is actually doing good for people. Whereas here, I look in America and I see capitalism that's keeping a lot of people where they're at or lower, and they need to be better than they are doing.
Because we're in the late stages.
Right. Yes.
They've
So-
just started.
So it's, I mean, but they're living in the same world that we do.
Yeah.
It's just that, they don't have it nearly as good as us.
Right, hopefully they can look at us and go, oh, we don't do it that way. Don't fall into those traps. We see what happens if you do.
We see it here, and now it means 600 million people are rising into the middle class, and that's incredible to me. Like,
yeah.
So and then what happens after that? Kids stay at night, higher test scores, better jobs. Adults work after dark; they get a higher income. There's food security, financial inclusion, because all this stuff is allowing them to charge their phones, which allow them to continue to have access to their money. It means refrigeration and vaccine storage and preventing disease.
Yeah, refrigeration. Jeez.
Right. Yeah, it means keeping milk and meat edible, and reducing food waste. It means getting rid of a lot of the kerosene smoke and reducing respiratory disease. Cleaner air quality. Like, it's just, you've got that, and this should be the template for building infrastructure from here on out in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Not requiring 30-year mega projects, but instead letting it be decentralized when it works, and letting it be modular and distributed, digitally metered, remotely monitored. It's a very different thing from the 20th century, where post-war we dealt with a lot of centralized government-led mega projects, and monopolistic utilities have kind of sprung out of that. And this is the exact opposite of it. And it's working so very well right now because the technology and the science is making it happen. So, super stoked.
Great.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Another word, Devon?
All right.
Indubitably.
There it is.
More on this as it develops.
There
everybody.
we go.
Thank
Okay. All right. Fantastic. I hope it develops. All right. I'm going to go and do my science. Probably a little quicker now that we're have some less time, but that's okay. I'm calling this one It's Getting Hot in Here.
That's that song actually was produced by Pharrell.
That's wonderful. I would love to hear something about his life in any form possible, be it regular or Lego.
Sure.
All right. This comes from Science Daily. It was published on November 9th. Meet the desert survivor that grows faster the hotter it gets. This is just a cool little article about a discovery made by a plant in Death Valley. So it's got one of them Latin names, Tidistromia oblongifolia, which rolls right off the tongue. Michigan State University students discovered that this plant can quickly adjust its photosynthetic machinery to endure extreme temperatures that would halt most species. Its cells reorganize, its genes switch on protective functions, and it even reshapes its chloroplasts to keep producing energy. The findings could guide the creation of crops capable of withstanding future heat waves. So the first bit of this article talks about, hey, world's getting hotter, and doesn't appear like we're doing anything about it. So let's see if we can do some science on the plants that know how to live in the heat. So the project began with a simple question: how can this plant remain green and healthy when most others would wither within hours? Let's see. Quote from Prado. Who's Prado? Prado is research specialist Karine Prado. Let's see. Research Foundation professor. Quote, when we first brought these seeds back to the lab, we were fighting just to get them to grow. But once we managed to mimic Death Valley conditions in our growth chambers, they took off.
Nice.
Prado used custom-built growth chambers to reproduce the desert's harsh light and extreme daily temperature shifts. The results were astonishing. In just 10 days, T. oblongifolia tripled its biomass. Meanwhile, other related species known for their heat tolerance stopped growing entirely. Let's see. Within 2 weeks, only after 2 days in extreme heat, T. oblongifolia expanded its photosynthetic comfort zone, allowing it to keep producing energy efficiently. Within 2 weeks, its optimal photosynthetic temperature rose to 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Those are freedom measurements, by the way. Higher than
Jeez.
higher than that of any major crop on record. 113 degrees, and it's like, it's no problem. This is the most heat-tolerant plant ever documented. Ri said, and Ri is Seong Yeon Soo Ri, also a Research Foundation professor, and I got it wrong. So the Research Foundation professor is Seong Yeon Soo Ri, and the research specialist Karine Prado. So those are the two people I'm talking about here. I'm sorry, I got them a little confused. All right, so they just kind of talk about, they get it a little in depth in like what it's doing. Like the plant's mitochondria move closer to the chloroplasts where photosynthesis occurs. The chloroplasts reshape into distinctive cup-like forms never before observed in higher plants. These adaptations could or may help the plant capture and recycle carbon dioxide more efficiently, maintaining energy production even under stress. Within 24 hours of heat exposure, thousands of genes adjust their activity. Many are involved in shielding proteins, membranes, and photosynthetic machinery from damage. The plant also increases production of an enzyme known as rubisco activase, which helps keep photosynthesis functioning smoothly at high temperatures. Just super cool. Like, there's this plant, and we've known forever, hey, it grows out there, but like, what are the mechanisms for that? And they're finding them out, and that's super cool. And this is one of those deals where it's like, hey, once we figure out how this plant is doing it, then we can do some really good science and do some gene editing and perhaps give them to other plants that are dying off because things are getting hot, you know. It says her lab is already applying these insights, studying how the genes and cellular structures that give T. oblongifolia its extraordinary resilience might be used to make food crops more heat tolerant. Quote, this research doesn't just tell us how one desert plant beats the heat, Prado said. It gives us a roadmap for how all plants might adapt to a changing climate. So,
all right,
cool plant discoveries. I mean, you get some of those plants with over there in Africa and with the photosynthesis, not the photovoltaic. Anyways, I lost the joke. We're gonna.
I was gonna keep on going with additional facts because that article was very long and I did not get through all of it. But you all should take a look at it because there's a lot more there. But
well, maybe people can do that while we take a break. So
sure.
We're gonna do that. We're taking a break. So we're already 48 minutes in. Don't worry.
Or you could read In the Forests of Memory by eerily, which we will be talking about when we get back.
That's a real quick read for you. That'll be a good one. So such a quick read that I think it's also going to be a quick talk about on the other end here. So
you think?
So I think. Prove me wrong, please.
Wow, you missed a lot of subtext.
That subtext must have been a really small font. We'll be right back. Hey, you. Yeah, you sitting there listening to this for free, like some kind of podcast freeloader. Look, I'm not saying you owe us, but if you enjoy our deep dives into AI, space, and comic book mayhem, maybe toss a coin to your podcasters. Join our Patreon, get into our Discord, grab some exclusive content, and finally achieve that deep, satisfying sense of superiority over your non-Patreon listeners. Just imagine their sad, uninformed little faces. Patreon.com/Science Faction Podcast, because knowledge is power, and power is best hoarded behind a paywall.
And we're back.
Well, we're back.
Well,
now
we
we're
didn't. We didn't.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, you and I. We did not. We did not collaborate at all on on that.
On
Should we try it
how would
again?
we do this? No, it's fine.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, hey.
So for those of you who don't get the paid content, Steven had to go rip a tooth out of his daughter's mouth. So
yeah.
he said we could finish up the show.
Right. There you go. And a big thank you to our patrons who know what's going on because you all are listening. Thank you. And to everybody else, good luck piecing it all together. Next week for book club, we have Diana Dima's City Grown from Seed off of strangehorizons.com, which has both the text version that we'll link to in the show notes, but also it has a podcast. This one's a relatively short one, about 15 minutes in the podcast, and pretty short in the text version. I think that they probably added a little bit more discussion to the podcast. But there is a content warning at the beginning. I just want to let everybody know there is some domestic violence and domestic abuse in this one. So, but that's City Grown from Seed by Diana Dima for next week. This week, Devon, what did we read?
We read In the Forests of Memory by Lily Yu.
Yeah, which big thanks to Vice.com for putting this one out there. Mm-hmm. So, what was this all about, Devon?
Well, it seems to be about a character who lives in a cemetery, but they call them, at this time, they call them forests of memory.
Yeah. So far future.
Yeah, I mean, near future. Does it say? Because it has someone's like born and death dates.
Yeah, the death date is 2031. Died. But
yeah, so I mean, that how long ago that happened, we don't know. But yeah, so I would say in the mid to late 2000 century.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you know what, that's interesting because like I assumed it was far future, but you're right because the character. Okay, so the main character, her name is Sunny Carballo, and she essentially is a vagabond. She's homeless, and she's been living in one of these forests of memory, A294 to be specific, and essentially it's, you know, she lives there kind of ducking all of the you know, people who are groundskeepers,
basically groundskeepers.
Yeah. But you know, is able to find, you know, when families leave fruit, buns, and alcohol at the graves of their dead, she comes in and relieves the dead of those things. And yeah, but the world is usually not kind to 70-year-old women without homes. The forest at least provides food, a bathroom, a concrete shelter, and some safety. Or does it? I think is the, yeah. So she had walked up to and tapped lightly on the brass plaque on a beach that said Alphonse Remy, who was born in 1954 and died 2031. So there was a glittering cone and web of light and a hologram of Alphonse shows up and is able to answer questions. And evidently that his family had been lucky because he had been able to have his likeness recorded in detail, whereas the families of teenagers killed in accidents or middle-aged office workers dead of heart attacks, they usually have still images and candid family videos, grainy and two-dimensional, and this one was better. So I think that you're probably right. We're closer to 2031 than I initially had thought.
Yeah. That's not a big deal. I mean, they kind of talk about the effects of global warming when it comes to kind of placing the time.
Yeah.
They talk about one of the graves, I think, talked about going to somewhere, and they were like before the seas rose.
Yes. Boy Now in
Yeah.
yeah, where I'm, you know what, I gotta know where Bella Now is. So maybe it's in Italy, but I don't think that is correct. thanks, computer. I'm not gonna. All right, but yeah, this is interesting because no, sorry, it's in the Philippines. It's a
Okay.
municipality in Pangasinan, Philippines, with a population of 84,000. That's cool. But in this story, it's not there anymore because places washed away due to the seas rising.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what happens? Do we want to? Let's just. I think it's fine if we spoil it, really, right?
sure. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not. Doesn't seem like much of a spoiler. I don't know. It's a weird story.
Yes. So they, she's walking around. Sunny is walking around and activating and talking to a bunch of the holograms of the dead. And overhead, a drone flies by, and uh, a young man creeps out of a logging stand, crowbar in one hand, a garbage bag in the other, and crawls through the chain link fence from outside the forest of memory, coming into it, and goes right past Sunny. Uh, so, like, he, I think, presumably is there to, like, take down and scavenge parts from that drone,
Mhm.
because he comes back, his bag is full and clinking, and he then sees Sunny and crowbars her to death.
Yeah. And then it
And
mentions that what they actually made a memorial for her.
yeah,
She became one of
because
the holograms.
right, but or rather, she became interred there, but they
Hmm.
couldn't. They had do they were able to
Oh, I see.
scrape together a bunch of DNA, but none of her family members would send even a photo. So,
Hmm.
yeah, no
Okay,
one,
so yeah.
not one, remembered her, as backup copies of other memories were reinstalled through the forest, and the chain link fence replaced with cement and spiked iron. Sunny sank under the rich green moss, and no one, not one, remembered her.
Okay, yeah, that's what happened. So,
Yeah.
what is this story about? Why? What's it trying to say?
I mean, I think it's a really fascinating, like, as someone that unironically spends time occasionally hanging out near and in cemeteries for vibes and for other reasons. Um, like, I think, like, this is really cool to see, like, the future, a possible future of cemeteries where, because I think that all too often they're um, they're really disregarded and forgotten places. However, the one thing that everybody that is born shares with everyone else in our population is that we will die one day.
Hmm.
And so our attempts at forgetting, our attempts at kind of laughing it off, will be futile, whether we laugh it off or forget or not. And so to see how the inhabitants of this future world have used technology in order to augment the experience of memory is really interesting to me. You know, uh,
Yeah, and that seems like kind of within our reach now because you could probably make like a large language model based on someone's personality if you had enough content of theirs.
yeah,
Um,
Do you
so you
think
could kind of
a
make a
podcast is
hologram.
enough for that? Like, if you had 500 episodes of a podcast, they could make a appropriate
That's what I was.
memorial
I
tree
was.
for
I
you.
was. I was honestly thinking that. I'm like, for us, there actually is a lot of content. Of course, then it's like that would be biased content because
right.
it's
Because we're
like, what if we
performing.
made? yeah, we made someone's personality based on this podcast, and one of our loved ones interacted with that, they'd be like, it's sort of them, but it's a
It's
different
kind of
version of them.
weird and sus and cringe.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sus and cringe.
Yeah,
A lot less cursing.
right.
Way less cursing. Every now and then he goes
Yeah.
bleep, and it's the weirdest thing. He never
Yeah,
said that.
someone would come up to me like, "Oh, I talked to your memory ghost." I'm like, "I am so sorry."
It thanks their Patreons like all the time.
Who are these Patreons?
What is Patreon? Did you guys mention why I wasn't back?
No. We left
Yeah, I
that for
did.
our
I said you were
patrons.
tearing your daughter's tooth out of her.
Yeah,
mouth.
her mouth bones. I had to rip out some mouth bones.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, it was a tooth that was like right on the edge, and the kids for some reason they were like, Mom can't do it right. Dad's got to be willing to pull the tooth out. It's one of those deals you just kind of get a grip on it, and then they like twitch their head a little bit and it just pops right out. Right? It's
Mm-hmm.
they're not quite there. Mentally.
Nolan will
to do it
not let me
themselves.
do that.
Really?
Elliot hasn't lost any teeth yet, and Nolan, like, he'll have ones that are like just hanging on, and I'm like, I could easily take that out. And he's like, no. So we just wait for it to fall out.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. How's this story? Did you guys enjoy the story?
Well,
we went over basically everything that happened.
Yeah, and I'd like to say,
yes.
I believe, like I'm gonna call it. I think that you really like this story, Stephen.
Okay.
Like this just to me, due to vibes, due to just kind of the like the environment that's put, that puts us into. Like I feel like this really goes. Do you like it? I'm just curious.
Well, before I answer that, now I'm gonna give Devon the podium. Do you think I like the story or not, Devon?
Oh. Pitting us against each other for his affection.
I don't expect much that you did. First off, because kind of your comments earlier in the podcast, I don't remember what they were, but I got the sense that because you said it was short, and I feel like even if it's a short story, but you liked it, you usually have a lot to say. So, that's part of it. And so, judging on the story itself, it's hard for me to. What would you think? Like, I thought it was too thin. I thought it needed more going on. So I'm gonna say you. I'm not gonna say you hated it, but I'm gonna say you generally didn't like it.
Okay.
Drum roll, please.
All of our patrons are gonna know the answer. Good night, everybody. No. If you'd like to know the answer to this question, pay us. No.
I'm already paying. I want to know. Stephen, I'm the one who asked. Jeepers.
All right. Actually, Devon is closer to the truth than Ben.
Okay.
I did enjoy the story, but I did think that it was lacking something. But to your credit, Ben, there are things in this story where I'm like, that's a cool concept. Like, you got trees that are people memories, but they say like it's only as good as the memories that were recorded. Like, that's cool. You've got like certain people illegally leaving things because like that's what their culture is all about. And then this, homeless old lady goes around and like eats all the food, and now she's able to live and survive because she's stealing this food, and she's also like talking to people, like she's getting her social meter filled by these memories. And that's a lot for a short story, but the arc of the story, like where it goes in the end, when she's killed and then not remembered, I thought that was like a little unnecessarily harsh for the rest of the story. But and it was of course well written. There were no complaints there. So yeah, like I liked it, but I didn't think it was like, wow.
I mean, maybe it's really more about the like socioeconomic aspects of it, because doesn't it say at one point like the poor obviously can't afford this,
right?
So it's like well, first of all, the rich make these things and then don't really use them because it starts off saying that people will come like once or twice in the first year and then never come back again. So the rich people are spending all this money on this fancy technology that they don't even use, and then the poor people don't get it, and the poor people, like her, are just forgotten once they die.
Yeah, and I guess that there's a
she's
point
the only
there.
one who actually, got any use out of it and like maybe respected the dead more.
And there's the whole idea that there are some families that come regularly if they're leaving food, but it sounds like those aren't the same families that have the really fancy holograms. So yeah, I think this is more of a socioeconomic story, and I wasn't thinking of it that way.
But I mean, it's interesting too, because like here is, Sunny, who's alive, living in the forest of memory, and but like she was interred here as in living, and she's interred here in death. Nobody, like, whether she's alive or dead, no one knows about her. And like I think that idea about being someone who's forgotten, even before you die, is poignant.
That's sad, just sad.
Yeah,
like there's that saying, was it 2 deaths, right? When you die, and then when the last person remembers you dies.
Yeah,
she's had a lot. This Sunny has had a lot of deaths.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, with that note, let's wrap this sucker up.
All right.
Let's kill another episode. Let's tie the sack closed, toss it in the river.
Rip the teeth out of this one.
We ripped the teeth out of this one, that's for sure. Tooth fairies eating good tonight. Have you guys ever seen them like horrific images of like tooth fairies, just like these crazy little demons on big piles of teeth? Like, what do they do with the teeth? The kids ask, and we shrug. Like, we don't know what they do with them.
And different places, they do different things, and so, yeah.
Okay,
I know way too much about that.
I was about to say, tune in next week for Ben's TED Talk about
Tooth Fairy time. Yeah, Tooth Fairy time. Let's go.
Tooth Fairy time. Welcome to the Tooth Fairy podcast. Two Tooth, Two Fairy is what we're going to call it.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy. All right. We've come to the end of this one. You guys talked about next week, City Grown from Seed by Diana Dima. All links are in our show notes. Be sure to check those out. And with that, I'm going to virtually point at Devon and ask him if he has any final thoughts for us.
I don't.
That's okay, man. Don't feel ashamed. Say it with strength and conviction.
I don't.
All right.
You're the worst lawyer. Your Honor. Ben, any last words?
Yeah. Well, in entertainment news, Billy Joel was angry after finding some wet laundry. Apparently, he didn't start the dryer.
I hate you. Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.